Chosen one. Stop what you are doing and listen. Heaven has pressed pause on everything around you so that this word could reach you without distraction. You are not here by coincidence. You are here because there is an appointed time, and that time has arrived. September 29 has been marked in the unseen realm, not as an ordinary day, but as the day where masks begin to fall, where what has been hidden against you is exposed. You feel the trembling inside because your spirit recognizes this moment. This is not entertainment. This is a divine summons. You have walked with wounds unseen by others. You have endured whispers behind closed doors, betrayals by people who pretended to love you, and opposition that made no sense. And yet, here you stand, every sleepless night, every unanswered question, every tear shed in silence. None of it has been wasted. The one who called you has seen it all. And now, on this marked day, you are being reminded. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to bow to the plots of the enemy. You were set apart. Your spirit has been heavy because you felt the weight of unseen resistance. You wondered, why me? Why do they turn against me when all I offered was love? Was loyalty? Was sincerity? Chosen one. It is because the light you carry exposes the shadows in others. It is because your very presence reminds darkness of its own defeat. That is why you have been targeted. That is why you have been resisted. But listen, resistance does not mean rejection by heaven. Resistance means confirmation that you are marked. There is a shaking now. The veil is being pulled back. Those who smiled in your face but sharpened their knives in secret are about to be revealed. Those who clapped for you in public but cursed you in private will be unmasked. And this is not to destroy you, it is to set you free. You will no longer fight invisible enemies. You will see them clearly, and you will rise above them. There is also a holy trembling in the spirit realm. For even the forces that conspired against you are unsettled. They sense their cover is gone, and their schemes are collapsing. What was whispered in darkness is about to be shouted on rooftops. Truth has a voice, and it cannot be silenced anymore. It will thunder with undeniable clarity. This exposure is not only for your vindication, but also for your preparation. God is shifting the stage, moving pieces you did not even know existed, aligning circumstances for your breakthrough. What felt like delay was actually divine strategy. Soon you will look back and realize every hidden enemy was a stepping stone to your elevation, not a chain to hold you down. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the revelation awaits, an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it lingers, wait for it. It will certainly come." This is your appointed time. What was concealed is being revealed. What was delayed is being delivered. Every plot, every lie, every false alliance will crumble under the weight of truth. Do not fear this exposure. It is not for your destruction. It is for your vindication. This moment is like the breaking of dawn after the longest night. You may have thought the silence of heaven meant abandonment, but it was preparation. The waiting has refined you. The tears have watered your roots, and the storms have carved out your strength. Now, the light of truth rises, and nothing can overshadow what God has appointed for you. Chosen one. This is your moment of awakening. You cannot stay silent. You cannot scroll past this word and pretend it was not for you. If your spirit is leaping right now, That is confirmation. Type in the comments 999 as a prophetic act, declaring that you are ready for the old cycles to end and the new beginning to manifest. And as you hear this message, do not keep it to yourself. Share it, like it, and subscribe so that this flow of anointing continues to meet you in your appointed hour. Someone else is waiting for the same word you just received. By sharing, you become the messenger of breakthrough to another soul. This is bigger than you. This is the movement of heaven. Stand tall. Chosen one. September 29 is not just a date, it is a line in the sand. On one side, confusion, hidden enemies, constant sabotage. On the other side, clarity, vindication, unshakable strength. Crossover. This is your crossing. Chosen one. You have carried a weight that most cannot imagine. The silent struggles that left no visible scars. The quiet battles that others never noticed. The disappointments you buried so deeply, these were not accidents. They were the furnace of your preparation. Every burden was shaping the resilience of your spirit. Every lonely night was stretching the strength inside of you. You thought you were breaking, but heaven was building. You thought the crushing meant abandonment, but it was actually evidence of the anointing you carry. There were times when you questioned why life seemed heavier for you than for those around you. Why do others glide through with ease, while you wrestle with hardship after hardship? It is because you were chosen to carry what others could not. Your spirit was forged for weightier assignments. This is why you could not be destroyed by what destroyed others. What looked like weakness was, in truth, divine endurance being hidden in your soul. Every betrayal that cut into your heart was not a wasted wound. The very pain you tried to cover became the evidence that you were not like the rest. Think back on those moments where you were left behind, misunderstood, or overlooked. Those who left you thought they were breaking you down, but every departure only made room for divine strength to rest heavier on you. You are not forgotten. You are being refined. The Word of God declares in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 17, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." Hold this truth tightly, for it reframes your past. Every tear you cried alone was seen by the one who counts each drop. Every season of silence, where you begged for answers and received none, was not rejection, it was incubation. While others ran ahead, you were being rooted deeper. The tree that grows slow grows strong, and you are that tree. Your roots now stretch into places storms cannot shake. Chosen one. The burdens you carried were never meant to crush you. They were meant to reveal the strength within you. This is why you survived when others thought you would fall. You have been the target of spiritual opposition because what you carry is dangerous to darkness. There is a reason your hardships were so intense. It is because your destiny is weighty. You were chosen to endure the fire, so you could walk out as gold, refined and untouchable. Think of every season where betrayal forced you to stand alone. In those moments, it was not just loneliness, it was training. Heaven was teaching you to hear God's voice without the noise of others. The silence, though painful, was holy. The isolation, though bitter, was sacred. It taught you to lean on God in ways that comfort could never have taught. And though your heart still remembers the sting of being overlooked, you must see now that rejection was a form of redirection. The doors that shut in your face did not close because you were unworthy. They closed because they could not contain the fullness of who you are becoming. Every time the world tried to tell you, no, heaven was whispering, wait. And now, your waiting is giving way to revealing. Chosen one, your endurance is proof of divine selection. You could have given up 1,000 times, yet you kept standing. You could have surrendered to despair, but you chose to keep breathing. That decision alone is evidence that your calling is not ordinary. Many are called, but few are chosen, and you, beloved, are chosen. The weight you carried is not in vain. It is the very testimony that will strengthen others when their time of crushing comes. You will speak to the broken, not from theory, but from experience. You will carry authority not from books, but from survival. Your scars are not shame. They are sacred marks of one who was entrusted with fire and did not burn. So lift your head. The heaviness you bore is not your identity. It was your classroom. It was your proving ground. The crown you are moving toward could not rest on an untested head. Your struggles are evidence that heaven trusts you with greater glory, and though you may not fully see it yet, you are already walking in victory. Chosen one, never again despise your pain. It is the ink that has written your testimony. It is the oil pressed out of your crushing, and it is the very fragrance that makes darkness tremble when you enter the room. You are the evidence that endurance is possible. You are the proof that chosen ones cannot be destroyed. Chosen one, hear the sound of the prophetic alarm ringing in your spirit. This is not a casual moment, not a passing word, but a divine interruption meant to awaken you fully. Heaven is calling you to attention because something is shifting. The ground beneath your feet is no longer the same ground you stood on yesterday. What was hidden is being revealed, and what was bound is being loosed. You have felt it for days now. That sense of unease, like your spirit is restless, but your mind cannot explain why. That restlessness is not confusion, it is confirmation. It is the sound of chains breaking in the unseen. It is the vibration of your name being announced in heavenly places. It is your soul recognizing that the old season is closing and a new season is rushing in. This alarm is not a sound your ears can hear. It is a vibration your spirit cannot ignore. It shakes you awake when you try to settle. It pulls you upward when you feel yourself slipping back down. It reminds you, you are not like the rest. You are chosen, and chosen ones cannot live in compromise. The ancient words recorded in Romans, chapter 13, verse 11, speak directly to you now. The hour has already come for you to wake up from your slumber, because our salvation is nearer now than when we first believed. Do you hear it? Chosen one, that scripture is not history, it is prophecy breathing in your bones. This is the hour to wake up, the hour to shake off distraction, the hour to step fully into your calling. No more delay, no more pretending you are ordinary. Heaven has sounded the alarm, and you must respond. Some of you have been standing at the edge of surrender, feeling as though one more disappointment will push you into giving up. But listen carefully, don't do it. No matter the price, don't let go. This moment right now is divine intervention. Heaven would not waste a warning if you were not precious. If you were truly abandoned, silence would have remained. But instead, here is a sound, a voice, a word, just for you. And here is what I ask of you as an act of obedience, as a sign that you hear this alarm. Type in the comments these 3 words: I am awake. Why? Because there is power in declaring it, in writing it, in putting it into the atmosphere. When you say it publicly, you are not just typing, you are testifying. You are telling darkness that you are no longer asleep, no longer distracted, no longer vulnerable to hidden schemes. You are saying to heaven, I am alert. I am ready. I am listening. Links, declarations like this may look simple, but they are spiritual keys. They open doors that your silence could not. They close portals the enemy has tried to sneak through. They mark you as one who belongs to the light, not to the night. So don't just read, respond. Don't just agree, silently speak. Your words carry weight in both realms. Chosen one, the alarm is not meant to scare you. It is meant to prepare you. Think of how a trumpet sounded before battle, how a bell rang before danger, how a shout rose before victory. This is your trumpet, your bell, your shout. And when you respond, you align yourself with the rhythm of heaven. This is why the enemy has tried to lull you to sleep with endless distractions, with cycles of exhaustion, with voices that told you your calling doesn't matter. He fears you awake. He fears you alert. He fears you armed with awareness. For when you are awake, his plans collapse. When you are alert, his snares are obvious. When you are armed, his attacks fail. Remember this: chosen ones cannot remain asleep forever. The oil in your lamp must shine. The fire in your spirit must burn. The assignment on your life must speak. You can run from it for a season, but the alarm will find you. And now it has. Chosen one, you are hearing what multitudes long to hear. Do not harden your heart. Do not push this away. Lean into it. Receive it. Let the alarm break the chains of delay and ignite the fire of destiny. This is your time to awaken fully, to see clearly, to walk boldly. So respond. Declare. Stand. For the alarm has sounded, and it has found you faithful enough to hear. Chosen one, the hour has come to see clearly the faces behind the shadows. For too long, you have walked among people who wore masks of affection while secretly harboring malice. Their smiles disguised their envy. Their kindness cloaked their resentment. You sensed something was not right, but because your heart is pure, you gave the benefit of the doubt. You hoped their intentions were as innocent as your own. Yet now, the veil is being torn away, and truth is stepping into the light. The Spirit allows you to discern not only actions, but also motives. And motives matter, for they reveal whether someone is walking beside you in truth or only in pretense. Look closely at the patterns of behavior that once confused you: the sudden silence when your name was mentioned, the half-hearted congratulations when you succeeded, the subtle sabotage when opportunities opened for you. These were not coincidences. These were signs pointing to hidden opposition. Chosen one, it is important to understand this. Their opposition was never really about you as a person. It was about what you carry. The light within you threatened the darkness within them. Your very presence reminded them of what they refused to become. Every act of betrayal, every unkind word, every secret plot was a reaction to the anointing on your life. They saw what you could not see in yourself, and it terrified them. You are not called to paranoia, but you are called to awareness. Awareness is the gift that keeps you from being blindsided again. It does not mean you must live in suspicion of every smile, but it does mean you learn to trust actions over words, fruit over promises. For just as a tree is known by its fruit, people are revealed by the outcomes of their choices. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 23, verse 22. If you listen carefully to what he says and do all that I say, I will be an enemy to your enemies and will oppose those who oppose you. This is not your burden to carry alone. Heaven takes personally the attacks aimed at you. Every hidden adversary has, without knowing, positioned themselves against the will of God. And no one who wages war against divine purpose can stand for long. Their schemes may prosper for a moment, but the end is inevitable. Truth prevails. Justice stands. Light wins. Think of how often you felt drained after spending time with certain people. That heaviness was not random. Your spirit was reacting to the atmosphere they carried. Think of the projects that mysteriously collapsed whenever certain hands touched them. That pattern was not coincidence. Opposition leaves fingerprints. When you look back with the clarity of today, you can trace the patterns and see what was once hidden. Do not let bitterness take root as you discover these truths. Bitterness would only chain you to the very people you are being freed from. Instead, let revelation become release. Knowing who was against you should not anchor you to anger, it should liberate you into clarity. For when you see their motives, you no longer waste energy trying to win their approval. When you recognize their envy, you stop shrinking yourself to make them comfortable. Chosen one. This unveiling is not just about people, it is about environments. Some circles could not handle the weight of your calling. Some rooms grew hostile, not because you did wrong, but because your presence disrupted the comfort of compromise. You carry a standard that makes mediocrity uncomfortable. You carry a flame that makes darkness restless. Wherever you go, the hidden must be revealed. Because you were not made to blend, you were made to expose. The unveiling may sting, for it is never easy to admit that those you trusted were working against you. But the pain of truth is far lighter than the chains of deception. Truth, though sharp, sets you free. And this freedom is the threshold of your next season. What is revealed cannot be hidden again. What you see now cannot be unseen. Chosen one. Walk forward with clarity. Not everyone who walked with you was sent to you. Not every hand extended was meant to hold yours. But take heart, God himself promises to be an enemy to your enemies. That alone should steady your soul. You are not outnumbered. You are not forsaken. You are protected by the one who sees all, knows all, and judges all. So, lift your eyes. Do not mourn the masks that have fallen. Celebrate the clarity that has come. For today, you step into freedom, carrying the unshakable knowledge of who is truly with you and who never was. Chosen one. Step with me into this moment of recognition. You have begun to see the patterns of opposition that shaped your journey. Betrayal did not just come once, it repeated itself. Disappointment did not just knock on your door, it made itself at home. You wondered why the same storms kept circling back, as though your life was a battlefield for unseen forces. Today, we name it. You have been moving through cycles designed to stall you. It was not simply bad luck, nor was it random chance. There was a structure behind it, a system woven in shadows. Each time you took a step forward, resistance appeared. Each time you dared to dream, discouragement rose. Each time you reached for breakthrough, sabotage, whispered, but now the veil is torn, and you can see the pattern for what it truly is: opposition to destiny. Imagine for a moment that your life is a great river. The current of God's purpose has always been pulling you forward. Yet, hidden boulders beneath the surface kept trying to block the flow. Sometimes the river split into smaller streams, leaving you confused. Other times the water grew still, making you believe nothing was moving. But all along, the current was alive. The river never stopped. And now, those boulders are being lifted out. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 37, verse 5, "Commit your way to the Lord, trust in Him, and He will do this." This is the turning point. When you commit your way, the patterns lose their grip. When you trust fully, the sabotage becomes powerless. The very cycles that once drained you now reveal how strong you have become. What was sent to break you has built you instead. Chosen one. Your journey is not meant to be walked in silence or isolation. Just as rivers flow into oceans, your calling flows into the lives of others. And here is where I speak to you with open heart. If this river has refreshed your soul, if these words have given you strength, then let us keep the current alive together. This is why I gently ask you, like one lighting a lamp, so others may see, to like this message, to share it, and to subscribe. Why? Because when you do, you are not only fueling this voice, you are becoming a part of the flame itself. Each click, each share is like dropping oil into a lamp that must not go out. The more oil, the brighter the light, the farther the glow reaches into the darkness. And yes, for those moved deeply, there is also the opportunity to give. Think of it not as payment, but as planting a seed. A seed does not remain small, it multiplies. Your donation becomes the rain that allows more seeds of encouragement, revelation, and truth to take root in the lives of countless others. Just as someone once carried a word that reached you, your generosity ensures the word continues to flow, reaching those still wandering in silence. Picture this: you are part of a vineyard. Each vine is connected. Each branch shares the same lifeblood. When one branch bears fruit, the whole vineyard is nourished. When you give, you are watering the vineyard. You are strengthening not just yourself, but the entire field of chosen ones rising together, and what you release is never wasted. Heaven takes notice of every act done with sincerity. Just as the widow's small coin carried eternal weight, your offering, no matter the size, resounds in eternity. It is written in unseen books. It becomes fragrance before the throne. It multiplies in ways your eyes may never see, but your spirit will one day rejoice in. Chosen one, I do not ask lightly. I ask because the river must keep flowing. The lamp must stay burning. The vineyard must keep growing. When you press like, you are not just clicking a button, you are affirming. This light matters. When you share, you are opening the gate for another weary soul to drink. When you subscribe, you are saying, I will not miss the next wave of truth. And when you give, you are sowing into ground that produces eternal fruit. Your journey has not been easy, but it has been meaningful. Every setback, every pattern of betrayal is being reversed. What once was used to silence you will now be the platform of your testimony, and through your simple acts of support, your engagement, your generosity, you become part of a great reversal. You shift from being merely a recipient of encouragement to being a vessel through which encouragement flows to others. So walk in this vision. See yourself not as a lone survivor, but as a torchbearer whose flame lights the way for many. And remember, rivers never stop. Lamps never dim. Vineyards never cease when the chosen ones rise together. Chosen one. There is a holy moment unfolding now. The veil has been pulled back, and what was once hidden in shadows is being questioned under the light of heaven. You have been wondering why certain things never aligned, why the very people you trusted seem to resist you at the deepest level. Now the Spirit whispers, their motives are being revealed. Heaven is interrogating the hearts around you, and the truth cannot remain buried. You are stepping into a time where discernment is no longer optional but essential. The Spirit will give you clarity not only about what people did, but why they did it. Words can deceive, but motives tell the story. Some smiled at you outwardly, but secretly resented your glow. Others drew near to you, not to support, but to siphon from your strength. And still, some stood beside you, not because they loved you, but because they wanted to watch if you would fail. Chosen one. This revelation is not to fill you with bitterness, but to set you free from blindness. When you know the truth, you are no longer bound by the illusion. You no longer invest in false alliances. You no longer waste prayers on relationships that were never meant to survive the journey. Clarity is freedom, even if it hurts. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 6. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do you see it? Chosen one. You are not alone in this unveiling. God Himself goes with you into the chamber of truth. You do not have to tremble as the masks fall, because His hand steadies you. You will not collapse under the weight of what is revealed, because His presence upholds you. Those who plotted against you thought they were hidden. But how can anything remain hidden from the eyes of the one who sees all? There is a courtroom unfolding in the unseen realm. Questions are being asked. Motives are being exposed. Heaven is saying, why did you touch the one I called? Why did you wound the one I anointed? And every false friend, every hidden enemy is being forced to answer. But here is the truth. You do not need to hear their answers. You only need to receive the clarity God gives you. What you once could not explain will suddenly make sense. Patterns will be revealed, and your discernment will sharpen like a sword. Chosen one. This is the time to guard your spirit. When you see the truth, you may feel tempted to lash out, to confront, to fight with your own strength. But you must remember, this is God's interrogation, not yours. Your role is to walk in wisdom, to distance yourself when needed, and to let heaven vindicate you. The truth has power without your striving. The exposure itself is the judgment. Still, this moment calls for your agreement. You must not resist the truth because it is uncomfortable. You must not cling to illusions because they are familiar. Let go of what was never real, so that you can step fully into what is eternal. And as a prophetic act, I invite you now to type in the comments 333. Why this number? Because 3 is the number of divine completeness, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. When you write 333, you are declaring, I align myself with divine fullness. I choose truth over illusion. I choose clarity over confusion. It is not about the digits, it is about what they symbolize. It is about standing in agreement with heaven's interrogation and saying, I will walk in the light. No, do not underestimate the power of such a simple declaration. Your agreement with heaven closes the door to deception. It seals you under the covering of divine completeness. It is a way of saying, Lord, I choose your truth, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. And that, chosen one, is what makes you unstoppable. The unveiling may sting, but it will also heal. For too long, your heart has carried questions with no answers. For too long, you have wondered why betrayal kept finding you. This is the season where you will no longer wonder, you will know. And in that knowing, you will find peace. Peace not because everything is easy, but because everything is clear. Clarity is a gift, and it is being handed to you now. Do not fear it. Do not run from it. Receive it with open hands. And as you do, you will find that what once confused, you will now empower you. You will step forward, lighter, stronger, and freer. So stand firm. Chosen one. Heaven is interrogating. Truth is revealing. And you are being prepared for the next level of glory. Chosen one. There is a voice that has followed you all your life. Sometimes it was loud, thundering in your spirit. And sometimes it was gentle, like a whisper in the stillness of night. This voice is not imagination. It is the guiding presence of heaven, watching, leading, protecting, and urging you when the path seemed unclear. Even in the times you thought you were abandoned, that voice was there, steady, faithful, never silent. Think back on the moments when everything around you seemed chaotic. Yet something inside you urged you to keep moving forward. That was not coincidence. It was the sound of your shepherd leading you through valleys that others never knew you walked. In times when you stood at a crossroads, unsure which way to go, something deep within you pulled you toward choices that later proved to be divine. That voice has always been with you, even when you did not recognize it. This guiding presence is not here to condemn you, but to direct you. It reminds you that you are not wandering aimlessly. You are on a path carved by divine design. Even detours, even delays, even moments that felt like mistakes, all of them are being woven into the tapestry of your destiny. You may not see the full picture now, but the one guiding you does. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Romans, chapter 8, verse 14, "For those who are led by the Spirit of God are the children of God." Let those words rest in you. They confirm what your spirit has always sensed. You are not just another face in the crowd. You are a child of God. And because of that, your life has always carried divine guidance. Others may stumble in the dark, but you have a lamp within you. Others may chase empty voices, but you are led by the voice of truth. Sometimes you questioned whether you were hearing correctly. You wondered, was that just my thought? Or was it something greater? But look closely at the fruit. Every time you obeyed the gentle nudge of that inner voice, peace followed. Every time you ignored it, Shauzarozi. That is the evidence. The Spirit has always been speaking to you, teaching you to trust His direction. Chosen one. You must understand this. Guidance does not always come as a loud command. More often, it comes as peace when everything else is restless. It comes as conviction when everything else says compromise. It comes as a door closing, even when you were desperate for it to open. That is love in disguise, steering you away from harm. Even when you cannot see the danger, the voice that watches over you is consistent. While people change, while circumstances shift, while seasons rise and fall, that voice remains the same. It does not grow weary of reminding you. It does not abandon you when you fail. Instead, it patiently calls you back, again and again, until you remember who you are: chosen, called, beloved, chosen one. There is a reason you never fully fit in. That guiding presence would not allow you to settle into places that were beneath your calling. It disrupted your comfort when you tried to blend in. It stirred your spirit when you attempted to silence your gift. It has always been gently, firmly pulling you out of the crowd, reminding you that you are set apart. And though at times you felt it was unfair, why couldn't you live as freely as others? The truth is, it was protection. Others may wander, but you cannot. Others may compromise, but you cannot. Others may fall into cycles, but you cannot. Why? Because the voice of heaven has claimed you. Once chosen, always chosen. Once marked, always marked. This steady voice will continue to lead you in the days ahead. As more is revealed about those who opposed you, as clarity grows, you will need to lean on this guidance like never before. Not every battle is yours to fight. Not every revelation is yours to announce. Some things are simply for you to know, and for heaven to handle. The voice within will teach you the difference. Trust that voice. Chosen one. It has led you through wilderness before, and it will lead you into promise again. It will never mislead you, never abandon you, never silence itself. The world may grow louder with distractions, but within the noise, the true voice remains steady. All you must do is listen. So walk with confidence. You are not wandering blindly. You are led. You are guarded. You are watched over. And no matter how strong the opposition, no matter how deep the betrayal, the voice of heaven will never fail you. Chosen one. You now stand at a threshold where the weight of truth presses upon your heart. The revelations you have received are not easy to carry. Seeing motivus exposed. Watching masks fall. Realizing that not everyone who walked with you truly walked for you. It creates an ache that words cannot fully express. And now, you face the test of mercy. Mercy is not weakness. Mercy is not blindness. Mercy is not pretending that the wrong never happened. Mercy is the higher road, the divine choice to rise above vengeance and allow justice to remain in the hands of God. It is the posture of one who refuses to be poisoned by the bitterness of betrayal. It is the strength of one who knows they are upheld by a greater hand. Chosen one. Remember this: the test of mercy is not about your enemies. It is about you. It is about keeping your spirit free, your heart untainted, and your destiny unhindered. Vengeance feels like power for a moment, but it chains you to the same darkness that once tried to destroy you. Mercy, however, releases you. It cuts the cord that binds you to their actions. It declares, "You no longer control my story." And the apostle reminds us in his letter to the Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 32, "Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. This is not easy. Forgiveness feels like letting them win. Compassion feels like letting them escape justice. But look deeper. Your mercy is not about excusing their behavior. It is about refusing to let their behavior define you. By choosing forgiveness, you are not saying, "What you did was right." You are saying, "What you did cannot hold me captive any longer." Think of mercy as a key. Every act of betrayal locked a door in your soul, keeping you tied to pain. Every memory of rejection chained you to sorrow. But mercy unlocks those doors. Mercy breaks those chains. When you forgive, you are not releasing them. You are releasing yourself. You are walking out of the prison of bitterness and into the freedom of destiny. Yet mercy does not mean forgetting. Mercy does not demand reconciliation with everyone who hurt you. Some people are not safe to re-enter your life. And wisdom teaches you to guard your heart. Mercy means you no longer desire their downfall. But it does not mean you invite them back into your circle. You can forgive while keeping healthy distance. You can release while also protecting. Chosen one. The test of mercy will feel like a fire. Your flesh will cry out for revenge. Your emotions will demand payback. But your spirit knows the higher path. This is why chosen ones walk differently. The world expects retaliation. Heaven calls for mercy. And in your obedience, you mirror the very heart of Christ. Consider how mercy transforms not only your spirit, but also your future. When you release others, you create space for God to pour fresh oil into you. When your heart is uncluttered by bitterness, your vision becomes clearer. When your hands are not clenched with anger, they are open to receive new blessings. Mercy is not loss, it is exchange. You give up the weight of anger to receive the weight of glory. This test is also a refining fire. It shows you who you are becoming. You could let pain harden you, but instead, mercy keeps you tender. You could let betrayal define you, but instead, mercy defines you as one who overcame. The world sees scars, heaven sees crowns. Mercy becomes the mark of maturity, the evidence that you are walking as a true chosen one. Beloved, your enemies may never apologize. They may never admit what they did. They may never seek your forgiveness. But that does not matter. Mercy is not about their repentance. It is about your release. Whether or not they change, you choose freedom. Whether or not they acknowledge the pain, you choose healing. Whether or not they are sorry, you choose to be whole. And do not fear, justice is never lost. What is sown is always reaped. The same God who calls you to mercy is the same God who promises to vindicate you. Mercy does not cancel justice. It simply shifts it from your hands into His, and His justice is perfect. So, chosen one, face this test with courage. Let your heart release what your spirit cannot carry any longer. Forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Show mercy, not because they earned it, but because you are chosen to live above bitterness. This is the fire of mercy. And when you emerge, you will be lighter, stronger, freer. The chains of the past will no longer cling to you. The sting of betrayal will no longer define you. You will rise as one who overcame the hardest test, not with vengeance, but with mercy. Chosen one. The strategies of those who opposed you are not random. They were calculated, designed to weaken you, to exhaust you, to confuse you, until you doubted yourself. Darkness has always feared chosen ones, and because of that, it crafted tactics specific to your life. The patterns of opposition you faced are not simply bad experiences, they are evidence of the enemy's recognition of your anointing. Look back carefully, and you will see the design. Betrayal came at your most vulnerable moments. Discouragement struck right before your breakthroughs. Isolation wrapped around you when you needed support the most. Each of these was not coincidence, but strategy. You were not being attacked at random. You were being targeted with precision. Why? Because the light you carry is disruptive. Your very existence unsettled darkness. When you walk into a room, atmospheres shift. When you open your mouth, truth pierces leaves. When you pray, chains break. That is why the strategies against you were so relentless. They knew that if you ever stood fully awake, fully bold, fully surrendered, you would become unstoppable. The prophet Isaiah proclaimed in the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 17, "No weapon forged against you will prevail. You will refute every tongue that accuses you. This is the heritage of the Lord's servants." Hold this truth firmly. Chosen one, the strategies of the enemy may have been precise, but your authority is absolute. You have been given the power not merely to endure attacks, but to overcome them. Every plot, every scheme, every trap is already under your feet. You may feel surrounded, but heaven declares that you are victorious. Understand the tactics for what they are. Discouragement was meant to silence your song. Isolation was meant to dim your fire. Betrayal was meant to harden your heart. But you are still here, still burning, still chosen. That alone is proof that the strategies failed. What was meant to destroy you has become the evidence that you are unbreakable. Chosen one. This is why you must remain alert. The enemy does not waste energy on those who pose no threat. His strategies reveal your significance. Every attack you survived is a confirmation of your calling. The enemy saw glimpses of what you could not see in yourself, and he trembled. But now, the trembling shifts, for the time has come for you to rise. Not as one merely enduring, but as one fully aware. You see the tactics, you discern the schemes, you recognize the cycles, and awareness strips the enemy of his power. No longer will you stumble blindly into traps. No longer will you mistake sabotage for accident. You are awake, and you are armed. Chosen one. Here is the act of alignment I call you to today. Type in the comments these 3 words: "I stand firm." End quote. This is more than a sentence. It is a declaration. It is a refusal to bow to the tactics that once held you. When you write it, you are saying, "I know the strategies, but I choose my authority. I see the schemes, but I claim my victory. I acknowledge the battle, but I refuse to yield." End quote. Declarations like this matter. They are not mere words, they are spiritual warfare. When you speak alignment into the atmosphere, angels respond. When you testify, you strengthen your spirit. When you write it publicly, you become a witness to your own breakthrough. You are not hiding your light anymore. You are declaring your stance. Think of how many times silence became your prison. Now, your words become your weapon. You do not have to shout. You do not have to argue. A simple, firm declaration is enough. I stand firm. Short, unshakable, eternal. The strategies of the enemy may continue, but you no longer tremble. You recognize that authority is not about the absence of battle, it is about victory in the midst of it. Authority means you are unshaken by what once terrified you. Authority means you carry peace in the middle of storms. Authority means you look at strategies and declare, "Still, I will overcome." Chosen one. Lift your eyes. See beyond the schemes. Recognize that every arrow aimed at you has only confirmed your crown. Every battle you endured has only revealed your strength. Every opposition you faced has only testified to your identity. You are not just surviving strategies, you are exposing them, dismantling them, and rising above them. So, let your declaration stand. Do not whisper it. Do not hesitate. Say it boldly. Write it clearly. Believe it fully. I stand firm, for you are the chosen one. And no strategy can undo what heaven has already sealed. Chosen one. There comes a moment in every divine story when the narrative shifts, when what was once against you suddenly turns into proof of your favor. You are standing at that moment now. The sudden reversal has begun. The hands that once pushed you down can no longer touch you. The voices that once mocked you can no longer drown you. The circumstances that once blocked you are now being rearranged in your favor. It feels almost impossible, doesn't it? After so many seasons of rejection, to suddenly be ushered into recognition, after so many doors slammed in your face, to suddenly see doors opening wide. But this is how God works. He does not need permission from those who opposed you. When heaven decides to reverse your story, no power of man or darkness can stand in the way. Think of Joseph, betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, forgotten in a prison cell, and yet, in one sudden moment, he was summoned into Pharaoh's court and elevated to the second highest seat in the land. That is what a divine reversal looks like. One day, forgotten. The next day, crowned. The ancient words recorded in the book of Psalms, chapter 30, verse 5, remind us, weeping may stay for the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. Your morning has arrived. Chosen one. The night was real, and the tears were many. But the dawn could not be delayed forever. Now the light breaks forth, and what once felt endless suddenly gives way to joy. And because of this, I want to speak to you with open heart. If this word is water for your spirit, if this message has been bread for your soul, then I invite you to keep this table alive. How? By liking, by sharing, by subscribing, and yes, by giving, not because you are pressured, but because you understand the power of participation. Picture it this way. Imagine a lighthouse standing at the edge of a stormy sea. Its flame warns ships of danger, guiding them to safety. But the flame cannot keep burning unless oil is poured into it. This voice, this flow of encouragement and revelation, is like that lighthouse. When you like, when you share, when you subscribe, you are adding oil to the flame. You are keeping the light burning, not just for yourself, but for countless others still lost in the storm. And giving, chosen one, is like planting seeds in fertile ground. Each seed looks small when it leaves your hand, but once it enters the soil, it multiplies into a harvest beyond measure. What you sow into this work is not lost. It becomes part of the great field of chosen ones rising across the earth. You may never meet the lives you touch, but heaven will show you the fruit one day. There is another picture I want you to hold. Imagine a bridge spanning over deep waters. Many souls are trapped on the far side, unable to cross because the waters are too violent. Every act of support, every like, every share, every donation is like laying another plank on that bridge. Together, plank by plank, you build a pathway so that others may walk into safety, healing, and truth. This is why I invite you to participate, not out of obligation, but out of revelation. You are not just a listener, you are a builder. You are not just a receiver, you are a co-creator. Every small act of engagement is a brick in the structure of light we are building together. Chosen one. Remember this, what you invest in heaven never leaves your life. It returns, multiplied, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Your generosity becomes testimony. Your willingness to keep the flame alive ensures that the river of encouragement does not dry up, but flows stronger into every dry place where hope has been lost. So, if this word has met you in your night and ushered in your morning, then join in keeping the dawn alive for others. Like, because it strengthens the voice. Share, because it may save someone in silence. Subscribe, because the journey is not yet finished. Give, because what leaves your hand enters eternity. Your reversal is here. Chosen one. Step into it with boldness. Walk into it with gratitude. And let your participation become part of the great movement that ensures no chosen one walks alone. Chosen one. Something within you is awakening that can no longer be contained. You are stepping beyond the identity of one who has merely survived betrayal and opposition. You are shifting into the mantle of a torchbearer. What does this mean? It means you are no longer only carrying your own light. You are now entrusted to carry light for others who still walk in the shadows. The path that wounded you has now equipped you. Every trial has given you wisdom. Every betrayal has sharpened your discernment. Every tear has watered the soil of compassion in your heart. And now, you are becoming the one who can guide others through storms you once thought would end you. Your scars are not marks of shame, they are marks of authority. Chosen one. The torch you carry is not small, it is visible even from afar. Others who have walked in silence will see your flame and dare to step out of their hiding places. Your courage becomes contagious. Your endurance becomes a testimony that inspires the weary to rise again. This awakening also shifts your perspective. You no longer see hardships as punishments, but as preparation. What once felt like chains now looks like training. The pain that almost crushed you has become the very fuel of your fire. And now, your journey becomes a roadmap for those who will follow. The prophet Elijah spoke, as recorded in the first book of Kings, chapter 19, verse 12. After the earthquake came a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire came a gentle whisper. Chosen one. Do you see the beauty here? God does not always reveal himself in the loud, the dramatic, or the violent. Often, he comes as a whisper, a flame, a light carried by those who are attentive enough to hear. You are becoming that whisper in a loud world. You are becoming that flame in a cold night. You are becoming that torchbearer who walks into the valley of despair and lights the path for those who cannot see. This calling is weighty. Torchbearers are not casual wanderers. They are pioneers, forerunners, the ones who go first into territory others fear. They are entrusted with fire, not to hide it, but to lift it high. And fire, once lifted, cannot be ignored. It exposes, it warms, it guides, and it also tests. The fire you carry will test others. Just as it once tested you, carrying this torch also means carrying responsibility. You cannot use your light carelessly. A torch can burn as well as guide. Your words, your presence, your influence must be stewarded with wisdom. This is why your crushing was so intense, so that now, in this moment, you would know the weight of what rests in your hands. You were not prepared in comfort, you were prepared in fire. Chosen one, do not fear the weight. What you carry is not a burden, but an honor. Heaven trusts you enough to place a flame in your care. Many receive light, but few are entrusted with torches. Many are touched, but few are chosen to lead. Your very survival through storms has proven you worthy to carry what others could not. This torchbearer awakening means your story is no longer just about you. Others will find healing in your words. Others will draw strength from your endurance. Others will find direction by watching your steps. You are no longer only a recipient of grace, you are a channel of it. But remember this, the torchbearer does not shine for themselves. The flame they carry is not theirs to own. It is borrowed fire, holy fire, meant to point others back to the source. If you try to use it for your own glory, it will burn you. But if you lift it in humility, it will illuminate nations. Chosen one, you may feel unworthy of such a calling. You may look at your past mistakes, your hidden weaknesses, and whisper, "Why me?" But the truth is, your imperfections are not disqualifications. They are reminders that the torch you carry is not sustained by your strength, but by divine fire. You are a vessel, and vessels are chosen not for their perfection, but for their willingness. So walk forward boldly. Torchbearer, let your flame rise higher. Let your light pierce deeper. And let your story remind the world that no darkness is permanent. And no chosen one walks without fire. Chosen one, the moment has come for you to seal your alignment. The revelations have been spoken. The unveiling has taken place. The torch has been placed in your hands. Yet now, heaven requires not only your hearing but your response. For words alone cannot shift destiny. Agreement must be declared. This is why prophetic numbers carry such weight. They are not magic, but markers, symbolic acts that declare, I am aligned with heaven's timing. I am choosing divine order. I am stepping into fullness. You have walked through shadows and endured betrayals. You have seen the motives of hearts unveiled. You have been pressed by fire until a flame rose within you. Now, you are being asked to step forward, not only in silence, but in declaration. For when chosen ones speak, the atmosphere shifts. When chosen ones agree, chains break. Think of the power of alignment. A single candle can light a room, but when candles are placed side by side, their flames multiply the brightness. One chosen one declaring their agreement is powerful, but when many chosen ones declare together, their collective sound reverberates across realms. Agrément multiplies authority. The Apostle wrote in the first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 14, verse 40, "But everything should be done in a fitting and orderly way." This verse echoes into your moment now. Heaven is a place of order, not chaos. And so, prophetic numbers like this one are not random, they are alignment with divine order. Today, I call you to type in the comments 111. Why 111? Because the number 1 is unity. It is wholeness. It is the beginning. To write 111 is to say, I stand in divine order. I align myself with God's plan. I step into the oneness of His will. It is a prophetic symbol of clarity, of new beginnings, and of the order that shatters confusion. When you write it, you are not simply engaging, you are declaring in the open. I choose order over chaos, truth over deception, alignment over rebellion. This number is your act of faith, your public witness, your way of standing before heaven and earth and saying, I am fully awake. I am fully aligned. I am fully surrendered. Chosen one. Do not underestimate the power of simple obedience. Remember how Naaman was told to dip 7 times in the Jordan. It looked too simple, too ordinary. But healing was hidden in his obedience. So it is with you. The act of typing 111 may look simple, but it carries the weight of obedience. And obedience always unlocks doors. This is your moment of sealing. You have received words before and let them pass by. You have heard warnings and let them fade. But this time must be different. This is not just a word to comfort, it is a call to covenant. Covenant requiert réponse. And your response is this prophetic act. Chosen one. When you write 111, see it as more than numbers. See it as a key, unlocking your next level. See it as a banner waving above your head, declaring to both heaven and hell, I belong to divine order. I walk in divine truth. I cannot be shaken. This declaration will strengthen you. It will remind you, in moments of confusion, that you already chose clarity. It will steady you when the old cycles try to pull you back, that you already declared order. It will mark you when the enemy attempts to whisper lies, that you have already chosen alignment. You are not merely surviving anymore, you are establishing new patterns, establishing divine order, establishing yourself as one who carries not confusion but clarity, not fear but faith, not chaos but authority. Remember this, the chosen ones of old were always marked by response. Noah built, Abraham moved, Moses lifted his staff, David stepped into the battlefield. Each one responded to the voice, and their obedience shifted history. Your moment of response may not be lifting a staff or facing a giant. It may be as simple as typing 111. But do not mistake simplicity for weakness. Heaven records every act of faith. So take this moment seriously. You are not scrolling by accident. This is not coincidence. This is divine alignment. And heaven is waiting for your yes. Chosen one. Your response matters. It is your seal. It is your covenant. It is your agreement with heaven. So let the number 111 be your banner, your symbol, your declaration. Write it boldly. Write it faithfully. Write it as one who understands the weight of being chosen. Chosen one. You have reached the place of confrontation, not with fists or swords, but with truth and authority. The time for silent endurance has passed. Now you are called to stand, not as a victim, but as one who carries the undeniable weight of revelation. When the hidden has been revealed and motives laid bare, you must decide how to face those who stood against you. Confrontation is not about proving your worth to them. because your worth was never theirs to define. Confrontation is not about vengeance, for vengeance belongs to the Lord. This confrontation is about standing in your true identity, refusing to bow to the lies that once chained you. It is the moment you declare with your life, "I am chosen, and nothing can undo that." The Spirit spoke through the prophet Micah. Chapter 6, verse 8. He has shown you, O mortal, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. This is the standard you carry into every confrontation. Justice does not mean cruelty. Mercy does not mean weakness. Humility does not mean silence. It means standing in truth without being swallowed by pride or rage. It means walking into the room where accusations were whispered and allowing your presence to silence them without a word. It means choosing to represent heaven rather than your hurt. Chosen one. You may never receive apologies from those who wounded you. They may never admit the depth of their betrayal. But confrontation is not about hearing them repent. It is about refusing to shrink yourself because of their deception. It is about standing in truth so firmly that lies have no oxygen left to breathe. Think of Jesus before Pilate. The accusations flew like arrows, yet he stood silent, unshaken, unafraid. His silence was not weakness, it was authority. He did not need to shout to prove himself. His very presence testified. And when he spoke, his words carried unshakable weight. This is your model, not to be reckless with your voice, but to be deliberate, precise, and filled with authority when you choose to speak. Confrontation also means clarity. You no longer walk blindly into toxic spaces. You no longer confuse false kindness with genuine love. You no longer waste energy explaining yourself to those determined to misunderstand. Instead, you discern, you decide, you distance. This is confrontation at its highest form, choosing clarity over confusion, peace over chaos, and truth over illusions. It may feel lonely, but it is holy. Some confrontations will not happen face to face. They will happen in your spirit. When you finally release the weight of their opinions, you will confront the lie that said you were not enough. You will confront the voice that said you would never rise. You will confront the shadow that tried to convince you your calling was a mistake. And when you do, those lies will wither in the light of truth. Chosen one. This confrontation is not about them, it is about you. It is about reclaiming your voice, your authority, your identity. It is about standing without trembling, because the one who chose you stands with you. You do not walk into these moments alone. The Spirit walks with you, and heaven surrounds you. So when you stand, let it be with calm assurance. You do not need to match their energy. You do not need to return their venom. You carry something higher, truth that does not waver, love that does not fail, authority that cannot be stolen. Remember this, confrontation is not always loud. Sometimes it is simply refusing to bend when pressure demands it. Sometimes it is saying no when manipulation expects yes. Sometimes it is walking away when staying would break you. These are confrontations as powerful as any spoken word, because they declare your allegiance is to God alone. Chosen one. Walk boldly into this moment. Do not fear the exposure. Do not fear the whispers. Do not fear the backlash. Truth may provoke, but truth also protects. And as you stand in confrontation, know that heaven itself is your witness. You are not fighting for victory, you are standing from victory. You are not striving to prove who you are. You are resting in who you already are, chosen, sealed, and unstoppable. Chosen one. You now step into the unseen courtroom, a place where no earthly judge presides and no human jury decides. This is the throne room of heaven, where every word spoken against you, every act plotted in secret, every betrayal whispered in the dark, is brought into the light. You may not have been there when the accusations were made, but heaven was. You may not have seen the schemes formed against you, but heaven recorded them all. This is where vindication begins, not in human arguments, but in divine decrees. The unseen courtroom is not swayed by false evidence or clever lies. It does not operate by manipulation or politics. It operates by truth alone. And the truth about you is this: you are chosen, anointed, and sealed for destiny. The ancient words in the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 22, resound here. Until the Ancient of Days came and pronounced judgment in favor of the holy people of the Most High. And the time came when they possessed the kingdom. Chosen one, judgment has been pronounced in your favor. Do you hear it? This is not wishful thinking. This is the eternal record. Every plot against you is weighed. Every scheme against you is measured, and the scales tip toward your vindication. The accusations that tried to define you crumble in the presence of the Ancient of Days. Picture this scene. The courtroom is filled with voices. The accuser rises, listing every mistake, every weakness, every moment of failure. The voices of those who betrayed you echo, repeating the lies they spoke. But then, silence falls as your advocate steps forward. Not only does he refute the charges, he points to the seal upon your life, the mark of being chosen. And when the judge looks upon you, he does not see shame, he sees purpose. He does not see defeat, he sees destiny. Chosen one. You have felt the sting of being misrepresented. You have endured seasons where others defined you by rumors rather than truth. But heaven never confused the two. Heaven never mistook your pain for weakness. Heaven never mistook your struggle for failure. In this courtroom, the verdict has always been in your favor. Even when the world mocked you, this unseen courtroom is not far away. It is unfolding even now. The tables are turning. The lies spoken are being reversed. The same mouths that cursed you will be silenced. The same hands that wrote against you will tremble. The same schemes designed to bury you will be the very ground where your testimony grows. Do not imagine this as revenge. It is justice. There is a difference. Revenge is fueled by bitterness. Justice is fueled by truth. Revenge seeks to destroy. Justice seeks to set right. And what is being set right now is your name, your story, your calling. What was twisted is being straightened. What was stolen is being returned. Chosen one. You may not hear every confession. You may not witness every reversal with your own eyes. But know this, in the unseen realm, judgment has already been passed. Vindication has already been written. And in time, what has been decreed in heaven will manifest on earth. This is why you must keep your spirit steady. You do not need to fight with flesh and blood, for your case has already been tried in the highest court. Your part is to walk as one who knows they are vindicated. Do not bow your head in shame when the judge has lifted your crown. Do not cling to bitterness when the verdict has freed you. Chosen one. The unseen courtroom is not a place of fear, it is a place of victory. It is where the truth about you is eternally established. It is where your enemies' voices lose their power. It is where your destiny is affirmed beyond question. So walk forward with this knowledge. The Ancient of Days has spoken. The verdict is in your favor, and the kingdom is yours to inherit. No accusation can undo it. No betrayal can erase it. No lie can outlast it. You are vindicated, and the record of heaven stands forever. Chosen one. The moment of coronation has arrived, not a crown made of gold, fashioned by human hands, but a crown of resolve. Unseen, yet undeniable. You have endured betrayal. You have survived the fire. You have stood in the courtroom of heaven, and now the verdict is in your favor. The crown placed upon your spirit is not decoration, it is confirmation. It is the sign that you are unshakable, unstoppable, and marked by divine authority. This crown is not placed lightly. It has been forged in the furnace of your trials. Every tear became a jewel. Every battle became a band of strength. Every betrayal became a refinement of gold. What you wear now cannot be taken, for it is not a crown given by men, but by the hand of heaven itself. As the Apostle James wrote in his letter, chapter 1, Verse 12, Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial. Having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life the Lord has promised. Chosen one. Do you feel the weight of that? The perseverance you thought went unnoticed was being recorded. The nights you wanted to give up but chose to keep breathing were seen. The faith you carried when everything else was falling apart has now birthed this crown of resolve. You are not empty, you are crowned. And here, I speak from the deepest place of sincerity. If this message has been water to your thirsty soul, then I ask you to keep the river flowing. Because your simple act helps this crown of encouragement rest on more heads. Share. Because someone else is wandering in silence, waiting for the word you just received. Subscribe, because this is not the end of your journey, but the continuation of a path where each step reveals more light. And yes, I humbly invite you to give, not because of obligation, but because of revelation. Think of giving as placing oil in a lamp. The flame you see now cannot keep burning without oil. Each gift, no matter the size, is oil poured into this flame, keeping it alive, not only for you, but for others still stumbling in the dark. Picture it as a tree. This word you are hearing is fruit. You picked freely. But every tree that gives fruit must also be watered, tended, and strengthened. Your generosity is water to the roots. Your support is care for the soil. By giving, you ensure that not only will you eat again, but generations after, you will also find nourishment from the same tree. Another picture, imagine a bridge stretching across a chasm. Many souls stand on the far side, longing to cross but unable. Each act of support, whether it is liking, sharing, subscribing, or giving, is another plank laid across that bridge. Together, plank by plank, the bridge grows strong enough for others to walk across into safety. And I ask you, beloved chosen one, not only to engage, but also to respond. Leave your voice in the comments below. Why? Because your comment is not just interaction, it is testimony. When you write, You put your footprint on the path, showing others that they are not alone. Your words may be the confirmation another weary soul needs to hear. Sometimes one simple line in the comments can feel like light to someone who is ready to give up. Engage with sincerity. Share with compassion. Support with joy. For in doing so, you become part of something larger than yourself, a movement of chosen ones rising together, crowned not only individually, but corporately, shining brighter as one chosen one. This coronation is not a finish line, it is a commissioning. A crown is not only an ornament, but also a responsibility. You are now entrusted to walk as one who carries authority, to speak with wisdom, to lead with courage, and to live with integrity. Others will look to your flame, your fruit, your crown, and they will find courage to embrace their own. So, wear it boldly, but wear it humbly. Lift your head, not in arrogance, but in gratitude. For what you carry now is not just for you, it is for generations who will rise after you. And as you walk forward, remember this: crowns are not for comfort. They are for conquest. You are not crowned to sit idly. You are crowned to advance, to build, to light the way. And in that advancement, your simple acts of engagement, your likes, your shares, your words, your gifts become part of the kingdom's advance. The crown of resolve is upon you. Rise, shine, and let the world see that chosen ones cannot be silenced, cannot be broken, cannot be hidden. For you are crowned, and your story has only just begun. Chosen one. The aftermath of exposure is never simple. When the masks fall, when motives are revealed, when the courtroom of heaven has spoken, you are left standing among the fragments of relationships, dreams, and seasons that once defined you. And now comes the sacred work of rebuilding, not with bitterness, not with fear, but with wisdom and clarity. Exposure frees you, but it also leaves you face to face with change. Some voices that once surrounded you are now silent. Some doors that once seemed secure are now closed. Some faces you thought were allies are no longer part of your journey. At first, this can feel like loss. But look again. It is not loss, it is pruning. And pruning is the preparation for greater fruit. The ancient wisdom recorded in Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1, says, "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens." Chosen one, you must see that this is your time for rebuilding. A season has ended, and a new season has begun. The people who could not walk in truth could not walk with you any longer. The spaces that could not handle your authenticity could no longer contain you. The structures that could not hold the weight of your destiny had to fall away. This is not punishment, it is transition. Rebuilding begins with boundaries. Where once you welcomed everyone freely into your inner circle, now you must guard the gate of your spirit, not with suspicion, but with wisdom. Not everyone deserves access to your heart. Not every voice deserves influence over your steps. You have seen what happens when wrong voices linger too close. Now, you must honor yourself enough to protect your space. This is not selfishness, it is stewardship. You are a vessel carrying divine fire. Would you place a flame into careless hands? Would you let unguarded winds snuff out your light? No. You protect the flame. And so, too, You must protect your spirit. Build boundaries not as walls of isolation, but as fences of wisdom, ensuring that what is precious within you is never trampled again. Chosen one. The aftermath is also about alliances. Though some have walked away, new ones are being sent. True allies. Those who celebrate your victories without envy and support your growth without fear will now enter your life. The pruning was painful, but it created room, and what is coming is not replacement, it is upgrade. Heaven never takes without giving greater. You will find companions who understand your calling without explanation. You will meet souls who strengthen your spirit simply by standing with you. These are not mere friendships, they are divine alignments. You will know them by their fruit, by the peace they carry. And by the way, your spirit leaps when they enter your circle. And as you rebuild, remember to keep your vision steady. Exposure has given you clarity. Do not waste that gift by returning to old patterns. Do not revisit what was meant to be left behind. The temptation will come, for familiarity feels safe, even when it is toxic, but you must resist. You cannot rebuild on old foundations. You must pour new cement, lay new stones, and build with the strength of wisdom. Rebuilding will also require patience. Do not rush the process. Great structures are not built in haste. Allow yourself the grace to rest, to recover, to learn. Healing is not weakness, it is necessary. Just as a field must lie fallow before a new harvest, your soul must breathe before it builds again. Do not despise the quiet seasons. They are the soil of your next growth. Chosen one. Your aftermath is not devastation, it is preparation. The ruins you see around you are not the end of the story. They are the clearing ground for something greater, stronger, and more enduring. What is being built now will not collapse under betrayal, because it is rooted in truth. What is rising now will not crumble under pressure, because it is anchored in wisdom. So, lift your eyes from the fragments. Do not mourn what is gone, but rejoice in what is coming. The aftermath is not your grave, it is your foundation. And from here, you will rise taller, shine brighter, and walk stronger. Chosen one. This season is not about survival, it is about structure. Build wisely, guard carefully, align intentionally. For what you create now will carry you into the fullness of your destiny. Chosen one. You have walked through the storm, stood in the fire, endured the courtroom of heaven, and worn the crown of resolve. Now, you arrive at the final stretch of this divine journey, not as one who crawls from battle, but as one who rises commissioned. What has been revealed, what has been broken, what has been healed, has all led to this, your ongoing commission. This commission is not temporary. It is not a passing assignment or a seasonal task. It is the essence of your calling. To be chosen is not merely to survive, but to serve, to shine, to stand as a vessel of light in a world often drowning in shadows. You are not here by accident. You are here because heaven decided the earth needed you in this hour. Chosen one. The commission on your life is like a banner unfurled in the wind. It does not fold when storms rage. It waves higher as a declaration that you belong to God. Every step you take under this banner tells the world that darkness has lost its grip, that light has claimed its ground, and that heaven's purposes march forward through you. This commission is also like a river that never dries. Seasons may shift, obstacles may rise, but the water keeps flowing because its source is eternal. Wherever you go, this river carries healing, refreshing souls who are thirsty for hope. You are not just a carrier of words, you are a carrier of living water, a walking testimony that the God who chose you is faithful to complete what he began. The Apostle Peter declared in his first letter, chapter 2, verse 9, "But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his wonderful light." Chosen one. This is your identity, sealed in eternity. You are not ordinary. You are not forgotten. You are not merely surviving. You are royal. You are holy. You are possession of God himself. And because of this, your life is meant to declare his light not in whispers, but in boldness. This ongoing commission means that your story does not end here. It means that every word spoken to you in this journey was not just for comfort, but for calling. You are to walk into the world as one who carries authority, as one who knows the value of mercy, as one who recognizes the traps of the enemy and refuses to bow to them. You are a messenger, a living testimony, a flame that cannot be hidden. The battles you fought have trained you for this. The betrayals you endured have sharpened your discernment. The valleys you walked have made your voice authentic. You can now speak to the broken, not from theory, but from scars that have healed. You can stand before the weary, not as one who imagines their pain, but as one who lived it and overcame. This authenticity is part of your commission. Do not look back with regret. Every stone thrown at you became part of your foundation. Every tear you shed watered the soil for your next harvest. Every season of silence prepared your ears to hear the whisper of God. Nothing was wasted. And now, all of it has become fuel for your mission. Chosen one. Walk into your commission with courage. There will still be battles, but you are no longer unprepared. There will still be storms, but you carry the torch to cut through the dark. There will still be opposition, but you know that no weapon can prevail. The difference now is that you walk in the fullness of who you are marked. Chosen. Unstoppable. Your commission will not always be loud. Sometimes it will be a quiet word to a stranger. Sometimes it will be the steadfastness of your peace in a chaotic world. Sometimes it will be the simple choice to stand firm when compromise looks easier. Every act of obedience, whether great or small, is part of your commission. Do not despise the ordinary moments. Often, they are the most powerful. A torchbearer does not only shine on mountaintops, they shine in valleys, in caves, in the hidden places where others thought light could never reach. Your commission is not just in grand stages, it is in everyday faithfulness. And when weariness comes, remember, you are not alone. Heaven walks with you. The same voice that called you will sustain you. The same hand that crowned you will steady you. The same spirit that awakened you will guide you. You are chosen, and chosen ones are never abandoned. So, step forward. Chosen one, carry the fire. Speak the truth. Live the light. This is not the end. This is the beginning of your unending commission. Chosen one. As this journey draws to a close, pause and breathe deeply. You have walked through revelation, exposure, confrontation, vindication, and coronation. And through it all, you have seen the fingerprints of heaven guiding you. You are not here by chance. You are here because destiny demanded it. Carry with you this unshakable truth. You are chosen. No storm can erase it. No betrayal can undo it. No opposition can silence it. The crown upon your spirit is not temporary, it is eternal. The commission on your life is not seasonal, it is forever. You are not ordinary. You are a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's treasured possession. Your future is not small, it is vast, filled with promises, waiting to unfold, filled with light, waiting to break through. You are not stepping into uncertainty, you are stepping into divine certainty. The same God who revealed the hidden enemies will reveal the hidden paths. The same God who lifted you through fire will carry you into glory. And so, lift your head, chosen one. Walk with confidence, not in yourself, but in the one who called you. Live with boldness, not in arrogance, but in assurance. Love with mercy, not because it is easy, but because it is your calling. This is your story, and it is still being written. Carry your torch, guard your crown, live your commission, and remember always, you are chosen for this exact moment in history, and nothing can stop what heaven has begun in you.